Hello there and welcome back to Sanctum, the place where I show you all my tricks while I pull them off live right in front of you. And today we're coming back to Harrison Mixbus 11. And well, tonight is going to be quite an important push forward in the mix because believe it or not, I go full analog today because I'm going to be using my notes to follow a particular strategy that I want to follow today. Because we're going to be working on a particular part of the track that is close to the end that we haven't touched, even though we have been working on this project for a while. But that's because this is a very big project. There's plenty of tracks going on, there's plenty of action. And the plan for this, of course, is to do it with care and to do it one by one. But today we're going to be working on something that is the second half of the track. And, well, we're going to be addressing plenty of drum action. Aren't you excited about that? Thiago Ramini, the Estonian Brave, and it got to be beautiful. Look at that. Yes. How beautiful an Estonian Brave. From time to time, of course.
Yes. Hello, girls and boys. How's it going? I think I would be more excited if I had monitoring to make sure that
you should be able to get monitoring. Now you should. You are getting monitors right now. If you look at that.
Yeah, look.
So good, man. That was perfect. Even I can hear the monitoring. Okay. So with that being said, let's get into it. Welcome back to Harrison Mixbus 11. In front of us with the project I'm going to be using, because this is way too loud, this is annoying me, the monitors, of course. And we're going to be listening to the track first as usual, so we are going to be taking a look of what we are going to be starting off. And from there onwards, we're going to make we're going to provide our totally not destructive opinions. Okay? So here we go, from the very top. Make sure to get ready your mental notes. Here we go. What do you think? And Robbie, what's up? How's it going?
Yeah. So hey, Robbie, good thing you got your internet back and you can join us.
Yes.
So what I think, even though I feel that the most of what makes the song what it is already being projected.
Check your microphone, man.
Um, okay, now can you hear me?
Yes, now he's back.
Okay. So I was saying first, I say hello to Robbie. Then, when it comes to what I feel about this song as it is, or the state of the song currently, most of
No,
what
it's
the
not coming
songs-
through, man. It's not coming through.
Nope.
Check the cable, man.
Okay, so take over.
Yeah,
Robbie.
so I'm gonna. Well, he fixes his issue. What do I think about it? I don't know if you saw me in a very serious fashion. I think you're back, man.
Yeah,
Speak.
think
Yes,
so.
you're back. You're back. Okay, elaborate first.
So I was making the comment that I think that most of the of what makes this song what it is being projected, but there are certainly certain elements that are not fully fleshed out. That are getting in the way of the song translating correctly. I think to pinpoint a couple, there's one. I think the evil voice. We worked on it last week, and I think it's sounding good, but I think it's feeling a little bit behind in the mix. It's kind
Yeah.
of low. On the later sections of the song, the rhythmic patterns, the drums and the percussions added, they are feeling a little bit not as impactful
Yeah,
as
they're kind of lackluster, right?
yeah, because those sections are some of the most intense of the whole song, the whole composition, and the sound is still not reflecting that.
Agreed. Now, on my end, as I was saying, trying to cover his the rear. I don't know. Well, you noticed that I was quite serious while the track was playing. Maybe you could see it. But why am I saying that? Because I have a serious problem with the low end, but a serious problem with the low end. Because even though it feels ballsy, punchy, and energetic, we got to this stage in the track in which we got most of the music working correctly. But while the track was playing, I was a little bit, not necessarily speaking, happy with the overall sound. Because even though I like the qualitative aspects of the entire piece, and I would even dare to say that we are at a probably 70% of almost done. A good chunk of what is stopping it from feeling there is there is a little bit of a honkiness on the low end. I don't know if you could hear it.
I actually didn't pay attention.
It
to
comes from the kick. Let me show you briefly.
Beneath the sky, where the shadows creep, a whispered curse, where secrets sleep. The moon.
Now you heard it, right?
Yeah.
Would you describe it?
Yeah, the way it felt to me was like a little bit of a cardboardiness or cardboardiness.
Cardboard sound. Like,
Yeah. To the sound of the kick is not super. Is not the bulk of the sound. The bulk of the sound is good, but
no. It's just a tiny resonance point that now that we have worked on plenty of stuff on the rest of the track, and everything is sounding now proper, this feels that it's not cutting through the best.
yeah.
Let's address it. This is, even though I am making a huge fuss about it, it's going to be easy to fix. Okay, so let's go for it. Let's begin there. And Robbie's saying that he agrees with you, Thiago.
Of course, why wouldn't you?
Good, yeah, then I'm the prick. Okay, what we got right now is we're using the EQ on the Mixbus Mixbus desk as our, and this is the reason why. We got the EQ only being used as a kind of shaping tool. We're actually using the EQ just to kind of remove and add a little bit of the stuff that we like for it to be then compressed by the the compressor, the one built in the Mixbus. And I like everything about it. But whenever I do this, I usually do it because I will leave the final EQ, the one that will cut through the mix, or the one that is going to actually be the one that defines the sound of the kick, to be applied after we get to this stage. So this is not necessarily speaking about an assortment of bad news. So let's begin. I'm gonna double click. Let's look for a freaking EQ. And yes, I finally fixed the EQ that was missing, the dynamic EQ that I was bound to use last week, and we're gonna be using it, Robbie, because I know you like them. So let's go for it. I'm gonna use. We need a little bit of a very kind of historical EQ, so I'm gonna go for split EQ. Allegedly. There it is. And of course, I'm going to make sure that it's pre-fader, because in Mixbus you can actually put effects after the fader. It's kind of funky, but it's actually very console-like. Okay, so we got it here. Let's listen to the kick by its own, just to get familiar and see a little bit of the interface. Yes, and as Robbie's saying here, yeah, we got that little bit of a bump on the 200 and something hertz. So let's attack that bad boy. I'm gonna go for the split EQ, because with this guy I would be able to work on the resonance, the ambience, independently from the transient, because this is the kind of stuff that you can do with a more traditional EQ, of course, but you get to these results faster, and to be frank, having access to this level of technology makes sense. Because for those of you who are new to split EQ actually allows you to, as the name implies, split the signal of the information going through into sections. The one that is known as tonal information, that is according to the plugin, which is everything that is harmonic and resonancy, and transient information, which is everything that is, of course, is going to be tonal, but is mostly on the tech, in the dynamic. Okay, so you can affect the signal in a dynamic EQ kind of fashion, or on a surgical mode as well. So let's begin. I'm going to be using band number 2, and I'm going to position it somewhere here, because this is where the issue, I think, is. So let's see. I'm going to bypass everything. I'm going to solo this band, okay? Listen to it. That spot sounds kind of like a good candidate, right?
Yeah, possibly.
It's a little bit annoying. So I'm going to be first affecting the tonal information, okay? Which is the blue bar. This guy, okay? Let's see. I'm going to solo it, but I'm going to solo the tonal information. This is so good about this guy. I think it's going to be there. So I'm going to unmute this guy, on solo, sorry. Let me set this guy to 0, to unity. Allegedly, there is. Here we go. I'm going to press play, but now in the context of the mix, and let me take you to a B section where we can actually see this bad boy in action. Better, right?
Yeah, and it was a considerable cut.
Yeah, and actually look at that, Robbie. You were on the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done. Because this particular band is the one that was annoying me. And I went bananas just for the fun of it, but it worked. Let me change the width a little bit on the transient information. Let's see. So I'm gonna be a little bit less dramatic on it. Here we go. But now I feel that I can boost a little bit of the low end. So let's do it. I'm going to push it just tiny bit, just somewhere there. Why? Because we can bring back a little bit of the good stuff now that we cut off some of the fat. Like it. And yes, Robbie, I was about to make the comment regarding adding a little bit of extra high end just to make it a little bit more clicky. Because even though the tone of the kick is correct for this kind of composition, you need to have a little bit of extra how can I put it? Extra damage if you're into an RPG kind of stealth description. No, extra definition to the sound of the kick. And yes, it's usually found in something between a little bit of the 4,000 to even, in some cases, even 6,000. That depends on the tuning of the kick, of course. Let's see. I was also thinking about that. In this case, I might even use the shelving rather than the picking frequency band. Let's see. Why? Because I can. Here we go. And I'm gonna go transient, just out of fun of it. Here we go. This is super subby. It's not reaching. We gotta go lower. Let's see. Now we're talking, right?
Yeah, very good.
Could you tell the difference?
Well, the difference is insane.
It's insane, right? Because
Yeah.
this is the kind of subtlety that is needed when mixing. Because I don't know if you could hear the extra level of crispiness and definition that the whole track got and developed.
Yeah.
Because before it felt like there was something in between us and the speakers.
Yeah.
And I noticed it here in the studio. I have access to different speaker setups, right? And I could hear it on both. And I noticed it thanks to the use of the referencing. Swapping between speakers was what allowed me to hear that particular noisiness.
Yeah.
Could you hear it, right?
Yeah. Now the thing you managed to retain the ballsiness. There was already there. It was already ballsy, but now it's cutting through better and it's less. Well, the dirt. You remove the dirt.
Yeah, the dirt and the
Yeah.
fat, the extra fat. So yeah, split EQ, as Robbie puts it, is a very crazy EQ. It's something that is very unique. I haven't seen something like this that does it the way it does it, and it's one of my favorite tools. Whenever I find myself facing something like this, split EQ is usually the way to go. Also the VX, the Rainworks one, but that one is crazier in other ways. Okay, I'm happy with this. I'm no longer gonna be cringing at the sound of my kick. So from here onwards, this particular, here Robbie says that, I just switched to my monitors and the kick is much more defined. And and mono as well. Do it as well. And for those who have access to the a mono sum while mixing, please always get familiar with it. Always use it as many times as you can while mixing. When you see me doing this, moving over here, it's because I have my controller here, my monitoring system over here. So I'm switching between my speaker setup and also summing to mono regardless of which of the systems I'm using at this point. Very important. And if you happen to have good headphones, a pair of headphones that you can trust, unlike me, get familiar with switching, and you will develop the hearing for each of the systems you're using, because each of them is not that there is a better system than others. Each of those systems or each of those monitoring systems that you might have access to offer and present to you the information in a different way, allowing you to see, or in this case, hear, different problems that sometimes could be masqueraded. For example, in here, the kick drum, the way that we fix it, and while I was fixing it, I was switching between the main speakers, which has a very good subwoofer here, and my horror tones, which are terrible sounding speakers that have very little low end, but they have everything on the low end that you shouldn't, that you don't like, right? And it's great for that particular reason.
Yeah.
So
Spot the issue.
Yeah, you can hear the problem there clearly. Good. Oh, you're rocking the Clio. How you say that those are good? I have never tried them before. So are those Clio? Oh, Olo. No, I am not familiar with that brand. Robbie, if you can elaborate more while we're working on this, would be awesome. Okay, now here's a big issue as well that I think I will work on later, because you could hear that there was a huge ramp up of white noise that is part of the track, but it's a little bit too loud for my taste. It's coming out of the Mo synthesizer. This guy over here, these two tracks. Okay. The issue is that the way to fix it is going to be through automation. It's a little bit early for me to go bananas on automation, but just rest assured that it will be tackled. The next stage, let's take a look at the second half of the track, which is going to be basically the most of where I'm going to be spending most of my time today. The second half begins here. Sorry. And the thing is this: there is a huge change in the orchestration at that particular point of the song, because we are gonna introduce a new set of percussions that are here. It's comprised of aptly named, of course, hell drums, doom, and all my OMG toms. Proper naming conventions.
Of course.
Of course, and they sound like this. Super heavy sounding cinematic, stupidly big, and see what happens when the OMG toms kick in. Big as all balls.
But it's very rumbly.
Super rumbly, plenty of low end that by their own is not a problem, but in the context of the mix, goddamn.
Yeah, there's
Because
a cloud over the section.
Yeah, we're dealing with plenty of low end energy coming out of our kick drum, which is already kind of super sobby. The bass, the RPA we're playing the bass is super sobby as well. Plus these bad boys, Jesus Murphy.
Yeah.
So let's begin. First thing I'm gonna do, let's analyze the sound of each of them by their own. First, hell drums. Very good, very awesome, very fun. Let's get rid of the low end. Here we go. And I don't know how visible that is. Now it's not that visible, so we're gonna go to the mixer so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So here it is. We're gonna be working with the filter of this bad boy because thank God we haven't done anything EQ-wise. So that means that we have free range. So we're gonna be cutting the living stuff out of the crap out of the low end of that particular sound. First solo, so we can see how far we can go with it. Okay. That sounds good to me. Why? You might be saying, dude, you destroyed the kick drum. Because the only thing I can hear out of that kick drum is the attack. Exactly, that was the point. Because we already got a massive kick drum covering the low end. So there is no need for this guy to be that low-endy. So let's take a look at the sound of mix now. I'm going to mute the other two bad boys, the Doom and the OMG. I could even push it louder.
You can indeed.
And it felt better, right? Mm-hmm. It also grouped. Super important. Whenever you're dealing with loops like this, be mindful of what they are meant to be doing in the mix. I'm not convinced at all on the use of the filter to be the way, exclusively speaking, to fix this particular extra pump on low end. Why? Because I want to try going to the EQ as well. I'm going to solo once again the tone, the sound of this guy, and pay attention to the sound of the low band. I'm going to open up the entirety of the filter again. No, it didn't work, man. But probably it works on the chat. I think it's because of the chat. Well, once the live stream is over, Robbie, just drop a comment with the link. That would be the best way to do it. Regarding the headphones. Okay, continuing with this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go for the EQ. And instead of using the filter right now, we're going to be, I'm going to chase a particular bump on the mid-lows that it's annoying. From there, if once I find it, I'm gonna back it off, of course, cut it to taste, and then use the filter so I could bring in a little bit more of the good low end of the sound while the track's playing. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Strategy. Let's do it. Here we go. Low frequency, low mids. Here we go. That's the one. Because it sounds awesome. Even if when I boosted, it sounded quite cinematic. The issue is that it's already too much going on. So let's do it to taste. Here we go. No gain. No pain, no gain. Frequency gain. This is gain. Okay, ready?
On the back of valley finds the day, steals the colors, paves the way. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind through endless nights.
Wasn't that awesome?
Very good.
That was awesome, right?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah,
What?
and once again, I do think you can also push the whole thing more.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I'm gonna first apply a little bit of distortion because the distortion on Mixbus is very good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use just the drive function here. Just turn it on. It's getting in the way. The chat. Don't worry. Don't remove it. I'm gonna just move this guy. There it is.
Okay.
Is this bad boy? Okay. The drive circuit. Then it's gonna add a little bit of extra grit, and also before pushing the volume, let's try adding a little bit of air to the sound. I'm gonna use the high band. I'm gonna keep it in shelving once again, and let's F around until we find out. We're gonna be using the EQ maybe somewhere here. That could be where the action happens. Like eyeballing it, okay? This is just me being used to the sound of the Mixbus EQ. Here we go.
On the back of valley finds the day, steals the colors, paves the way. In its embrace we
Just like that.
Yeah.
Very simple, very little. Should we push it louder now, Thiago? I don't think so. It's cutting through.
I think still maybe a little bit, like way less than before, but
But-
perhaps a tiny bit.
Remember that there is more.
Mm-hmm.
Let's wait until we get the rest of the instruments
Okay.
working there. Because now introducing the... What's the name of these guys? Doom!
Alakablam!
I hate my naming conventions. Okay, here we go. This is big.
Yeah.
I'm going to increase the trim so we can actually have more headroom here with the fader.
steals the colors, paves the way. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind through endless nights. But in the dark, a whisper sings, a broken.
Okay, there is. I like it. Position wise. Now let's work on the tone because plenty of low end is rumbly. That's all hell. Let's take a look at first the edit because I want to see where it happens. Yes, just hit by hit. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do my traditional technique when it comes to dealing with toms, which is very stupid and simple. I'm gonna select, make sure that I got quite there, zoom in. So as soon as I press play, the tom is gonna hit in isolation. And thanks to the very clever return to forever, no, return to the last playback start point when stopped function on Mixbus, I will simply just press play, press play and then stop, press play and then stop, just to confirm that every move that I'm doing on the tom hit is correct. Because otherwise we have to let the tom kick in every so often, and since it happens every several bars, it's gonna take ages. So first, low cut. Better, right?
Yeah.
A little less rumbly. Now let's go for the EQ. Again, mid range, low mids.
Can you take us to the mixer?
The EQ's here.
Ah,
They
okay.
can see here everything. That way they can be able to. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, it's visible. If you know where to look, damn it, it's here.
Beautifully drawn.
Yeah, that was so good. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna be doing again the old trick, pushing the little stuff out of it and then sweeping around. Increase the width. I knew it. It's that one. So I'm gonna just lower it. Ooh, that was better, right?
Yeah.
Because now we got a tighter sound. Now, low end. We're gonna be boosting. Maybe somewhere here. Not too low.
Okay.
Better,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
It might be a little bit too much because in the context of the mix, it might be audible, right? Or way too noticeable. Let's see. Yeah, that was too much. But I think I like the tone. I like the sound. So I'm gonna lower the volume. Like it.
Yeah, that works like it.
Yes. Now let's add a little bit of attack to it. So we're gonna use the compressor. I'm gonna super slow attack, super fast release, crap ton. What's in? Solo just to see the compressor next. No compressor. We need to increase the gain. Here we go. No compressor. Still more gain. No compressor first. Compressor. I can push it a little bit more. The idea here is to get a much more intense punch. It worked. Now, I might even use a little bit of transient master, which, why not? Let's do it. Double click. So we can insert transient. Transient shaper. You know what? Let's try Attacker Plus first. Here is. And let's increase the attack. How much? Wherever. It worked.
Yeah.
That's a lot of attack. Okay, let's
But it worked?
Yeah, it's a little bit too much, man. Let's see in the mix. Oof.
I like it. I don't
Yeah,
use too
but
much.
wait, we're clipping, man. Relax.
But that's how we do it here.
We don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be a little bit more conservative because he's cutting through beautifully. But again, there's still another set of toms that are part of this, and they are as doomy as this guy. Are we happy?
No.
You want more, right? I feel the same way. Yeah, but I don't know if I'm clipping. This is way too loud, man. But we can make it louder. Introducing the Almighty. And I gotta admit that the name is great. What's the name of that guy? Inflator. There it is. This is basically a clipper. I am not necessarily a fan of clipping stuff gratuitously, but this is a good example of when to do it. So, all the fact. Let's see. And no clips.
Bada bam.
Bada bing, bada bam. Okay, let's see. Here we go.
On the back of valley finds the day, steals the color.
Okay, now we're happy.
Are you entertained?
Yeah.
No, but look, when you understand what happened, man, because this is, I usually don't use clippers these gratuitously because they have their places, man. This is one of them. A clipper is basically it's a kind of like a compressor. It's just for you to be louder without clipping the freaking, the leaving stuff out of your system, okay? Allegedly. It does, whatever, it does this. It worked. I like it. We're happy. Now, let's see how it sounds with the other guy. Here we go.
On the back of valley finds the day, steals the colors, lays the way. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind.
So good, but it's so rumbly.
Yes, the rumblier of the bunch.
He's the rumbliest. I'm gonna mix this guy in context of the other two guys because the other two guys are already fitting correctly in the mix. Okay? Why am I doing it like this? Because this guy has plenty of dynamics. Because he's like
And a lot of notes.
and a lot of notes. And I'm gonna let the doom to be the one that it's actually just cutting through the mix aggressively as it is, but I'm gonna keep this guy always looming, creating this orchestral vibe to it. Let's do it first. EQ galore. Sounds like a helicopter, kinda. Well, when I pushed it, it was way too much, man.
Yeah.
Even here, my master converter were like, dude, it's too loud. And I even made the comment. Made the comment. God damn it, my mouth is kind of stupid today. Okay, let's turn on the
Not only the mouth.
the EQ, everything, man, but today in particular stupid as the mouth. Okay, here we go. Cleaning. Let's first, again, we're gonna say hello to our dear friend, the low cut, also known as high pass filter. Okay, first and foremost, I'm gonna go gratuitous with it, and then we're gonna open it up. What was I thinking? That's too much. It's cool and everything, but damn, that's a lot of nuts, man. It sounds like John Wick, man. That's too much. Well, whatever. Okay, didn't remember this part. This is stupidly insane. Okay, damn it, I'm laughing at my own. Whatever. Low mids. We're gonna do the old sweeparoo. That was awful. I'm gonna take that back. Sorry. I'm gonna just turn on the sweep. I'm gonna be sweeping around. Okay. And is that visible to you? Yes, it is. Indeed. Here we go. Starting to sound like a movie.
Yeah.
Like it. I'm gonna mute the toms just to see how much of an effect they have right now at this stage of when it comes to gain stage. I think we're all set. I think they work. So I'm gonna lower the volume all the way down, and we're gonna be bringing it in to taste in the context of the mix. Here we go.
On the back of valley binds the day, steals the colors, paves the way. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind through endless nights. But in the dark, a whisper sings of broken chains and mended wings. A spark defies the shadows gale.
Totally agree with you, Robbie. That's why I dropped the volume of the Doom Slayer, Doom guy, Wild Otaku Slam, because it was too loud. Now that we brought these guys in, what do you think, Theo? Because you're the one who's bitching about making the toms even bigger.
No, it sounds good now. And even though I liked how punchy the whole thing with the Doom loud it was over the top, and
It
now
was
it's
over the
actually
top.
it's sitting correctly now.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you mix in solo. Because when we had the three of them, it was badass, man. That one was already printable, right? It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, yeah, I could use that.
Well, you should.
Yeah, because it was a good sound, and the balance was very good because you got the energy, right? But once everything was in, whenever the Doom guy popped in, it was way too in the nose. I could even feel the punch in my face. It was that loud. Okay, happy. No, I'm not. So let's add a little bit of extra fun to it. I'm gonna go for the compressor. I'm gonna use a little bit of parallel compression. I'm gonna be using that bad boy on my OMG toms. Why? Because I would like to have a little of that extra. How can I put it? You know the thing. No, a little bit of the attack of the toms without being overly loud. Okay, because I don't want to push them louder. They're already doing their job, and I don't want to run the risk of clipping my channel and stuff. And adding compression or limiting that this guy could bring more problems. For example, the resonance of the tone. That's not a good thing right now. So I'm going to use a parallel our parallel drum circuit. Here we go. All the way from the very bottom, and I'm gonna try to find sweet spot. You can see the motion here. Okay, is this knob? Here we go.
On the back of valley binds the day, steals the colors, paves the way. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind through endless nights. But in the dark, a whisper.
Badass.
Really cool.
Very cool, right?
Yeah.
And for those of you who are new to this mix, let me show you the bus in question. It's all the way down here, which is my decomp. I am actually using the Harrison Mixbus's built-in compressor on the Mixbuses for this. Get Harrison Mixbus. It's stupidly awesome. It's great sounding. And how much is it? Like $40, right?
Yeah, 50.
Like 50.
Yeah.
Come on, man, for real.
Yeah.
So it's a no-brainer. So very good, sounding much more control as Robbie says. I like it, and I would say the same way. I would express myself the same way. Now let's take a look at the rest of the instruments of that particular section, because there is another extra set of toms that have to be addressed. Which look at that, the old clips. Well, I'll deal with that later. This is something. Speaking of getting Mixbus in the clipping management, the lights a little bit annoying. Okay, let's look for the stereo toms.
I know that you want to move on from those guys, but don't you think it would be cool sending the not the Doom, the other one, to the Nasty?
Give me a break. It's not a bad idea. There's not a bad idea. The thing is that we're ignoring another set of toms, and I want to make sure that my percussions are already working before I begin adding more extra nastiness, or
Yeah.
not nastiness, but I can see it's a good idea because the nasty bus is basically just distortion and overcompression. It's a very good technique. Let's first take a look at this guy because these are being neglected the entirety of the time, and the thing is that they play from here onwards. Look, they're quite active. Look, they begin, I think, from there. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna address them in the heaviest moment where most of the action happens. Why? Because I don't wanna EQ it or EQ it in a way that doesn't make sense later. So let's once again bring back the mess that is this Doomy section, but by their own, because I want to make sure that I'm not adding stuff where it doesn't belong. So we're gonna be working with yes, Hell Drums, Doom, and OMG. Love the contribution, because now you see how complex and rich, rhythmically speaking, this whole arrangement became.
Yeah.
The thing is that position-wise, a little bit too much. This is clearly a sample. This is one of your own making, right, Robbie? I remember this one being added by you. You prick. No, of course not. No, it actually is working. But you get my point, right?
Yeah.
Once again, let's first attack this situation by working with the filter. Let me make sure that you can see the filters. Here, let's go for filter, dynamics. Give me dynamics. There it is. Okay. Here we go. Filters over here. So let's see. Actually, that rhythmical arrangement is very good. Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very-
Became super layered at the end.
Yeah, it gets busier and busier, but in a very, very conscious way. Good. Yeah, it's a prick of a thumb. Yeah, look, I like what he's doing, but let me check if it's actually a stereo track. Can you remember, Rob, if it was a stereo? Because it doesn't sound stereo to me. Okay, I'm gonna pan it a little bit to the side. Yeah, it's a good idea, exactly, Robbie, because the idea is as you say, to add a little bit of a different tonal identity to each of the toms. And actually, that's what you do with percussions. A good percussion set is the one that actually, each of them provides something. Even if it's one thing that you hit once, for as long as it makes sense and adds an extra layer of motion, it makes the whole thing vibe. Yeah, it's slightly, yeah, it's a stereo, Robbie. The thing is that now that we got a very busy section, I'm gonna start to spread my thumbs across the stereo spectrum. I'm gonna push the stereo thumbs a little bit leaning towards the left. Then I'm gonna move, Doom is gonna be center, of course. Hell drums, no, OMG thumbs, I'm gonna push them to the right to create a little bit of a quasi-balanced stereo feel. Let's see. Fuck, yeah! It worked. And now I feel that my OMG tones are loud. Why? Because now they are occupying different points in the stereo spectrum, and they feel much more audible to us. So let's check in the context of the mix. Here we go.
On the black valley finds the day, steals the colors, fades away. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind through endless night.
Badass, right?
Very good.
That was very good. Like it. So let's address a little bit the tone of these tones, of the stereo tones. I'm gonna be doing it, of course, alongside the rest of the song, because it already feels like we got a very good sounding arrangement. So now I feel confident of pushing the sound of my toms in context. Here we go. First, since once again the star of today's show has been the 250 hertz majority of the time region, because we're dealing with super low end stuff, and usually percussions tends to be not necessarily flattered by that particular frequency range. Don't you think, Thiago?
Yes.
In your years and years of
100%.
experience mixing,
Yes.
what do you say about it?
I say cut it.
Yeah, like that, Okay, afuera, as somebody might say. Here we go. So let's do this. I'm gonna be making sure that you got access to the EQ. Yes, you got it. Over here again. So let's go that region again, because I already have an idea. We're familiar with tone, we're familiar with sound, and we're gonna cut to taste.
On the black valley binds the day, steals the colors, paves the way. In its embrace we lose our sight.
Guess what? We shouldn't cut that guy.
You shouldn't.
Why? It's the fundamental of this thumb. We made it weaker if we cut it. Actually, I'm gonna boost it. But for this, I'm gonna be using actually the low gain. So I'm gonna be somewhere here. I don't know. We'll see. Pay attention to how much richer the tone of the thumb becomes. Is the one on the left.
On the black valley binds the day, steals the colors, paves the way. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind through endless night. But in the dark, a whisper sings of broken chains.
Could you hear the difference?
Yes. Honestly, it's subtle, but it does feel like those tones gain a little bit more body.
Body, yes. Okay, what's bottom edge, Robbie? What is that? It's so clear for viewers to see what's going on. Oh yeah, using this bad boy. Yes, you're right. Thank you. You might need to remember the chat for a while.
Yeah.
Good idea. Thank you, Robbie, for yeah. Is this? Yeah. Okay. Yes, this is way better, man. I should have been using this since the beginning. Okay. Yeah, but it's once again getting used to this, especially for me, because I'm way too far from my screen. Okay. Yes, it feels more present. So now what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna use the low cut, the mid range, now to find a little bit of the honkiness of the thumb, because something happens with toms when that sometimes not all of them have to be cut. It's one of those rare instances in which cutting frequencies in the mid lows usually would be detrimental. Why? The tuning, the sound, and the way that the instrument should behave in the mix. I still mix like you, but this is it's a very awesome feature, man, because it's not that I'm impaired when it comes to my eyesight, but I'm like what would you say, like 60 to 70 centimeters away from the screen, right?
More.
Even more, almost a meter.
Yeah.
So that's why you sometimes see me squinting. Damn it. Today my mouth is not working correctly, but you get it. Okay. I'm gonna try to see if I can boost a little bit of this particular frequency range, maybe somewhere here, just to a little bit of the extra attack of the thumb. Here we go.
On the black valley binds the day, steals the colors, paves the way. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind through endless night.
It even groups, right?
Yeah.
Look at that. In this case, it's a good idea now to use the nasty, because with this we're gonna be able to boost a little bit of this, boost a little bit the sound of the kick, of the thumb, but also we would be able to make it a bit more stereo, because since we pushed it a little bit to the right, by this guy being centered, or not centered, this stereo sounding bus, we can add a little bit of the missing energy and add it a little bit to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Here we go. Make sure that I get my sense. Get me. Why is he doing it like this? Dump. Thank you. Oh, there is. It was already there. Sorry. Sorry, Mixbus. Here we go.
On the black and valley finds the day, steals the colors, paves the way. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind.
Great, right?
Cool. Yeah.
Very good. Now, reverb. This is dry. And even compression. Yeah, let's work with the compressor. Sounds like this, and let's let me. Oh, you got the. Look at that! I don't have to mess around with it.
Okay.
Do I?
Hmm?
No. Where's the compressor? Let me check. Because it says Mixbus leveler. I want to believe that's the one. Threshold. Ah, it is. Okay, good. Okay, thanks. Yeah, because I was confused. I'm gonna use for this one. Ah, is this? Sorry. Let's try the comp.
The shot doesn't get in the way of that, right? No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. At least the compressor, it doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna work on the compressor anyway. Okay, so let's play around with it. I'm gonna solo the toms, then compress the living stuff out of it. Slow attack. And maybe semi-fast release as well. Let's see. And yeah. Let me move it. I'm gonna put it before the EQ. Let's see. Almost there. Almost there. We're getting a little bit more of a cutting through sound. I'm gonna back up a little bit of the low end of the makeup gain, and I'm gonna push this guy in. Let me see if I have access to these controls. No, I don't. Whatever. Emphasis. Probably the best thing of this compressor. Here we go. Don't you love it?
It's very good.
So good,
That
right?
emphasis thing is always delivers.
He always delivers, particularly with this kind of stuff, right? The percussions.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see in context.
On the black and valley finds the day, steals the colors, paves the way.
I let it roll for more than I expected because I was rocking to it. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
means that I'm no longer bitchy about it. Excellent. Now reverb, for God's sake. This is way too dry. And I was already realizing that I feel I get nervous when there is no reverb on my guitar.
Yeah.
It's weird because it's weird, man.
Yeah.
You need the sound of the ambience. Okay, let's take a look at this. I'm gonna be using the synth. The auxiliary synth. We're gonna be using T-Verb. We haven't used this guy. And let me check what I got there on my T-Verb. T-Verb. Where's my T-Verb? Oh, yes, after there. Here we are. T-Verb. Here it is. And we got, of course, the T-Verb.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. This is a very cool plugin. Can you explain, Thiago? Because you happen to be a fan of it.
Yeah, but I don't know how to explain it correctly because the thing is that it's a gated it's not a gated reverb, but it's
Duct.
Huh?
It's duct.
But it has a threshold attached to the triggering of the reverb, right?
Yes, exactly.
So
Yep.
basically, it does have a gate.
It actually has gates.
Yeah.
But they act more like similar to what you do when you do the Phil Collins thing. Similar to that, but it's beautiful sounding. It's excellent for that particular application.
You have quite a lot of control over it, right? You can
Yes.
position the mics in the room
You
and
can.
everything.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be moving the microphones around, as you can see here. And let's make this this is center. Okay, this is mic 1, mic 3. Okay, so let's push them around. And I'm gonna try to put more emphasis on the one that I have on the right, which is mic 2. Why? Because I push the thumbs a little bit to the side. Get me? So I want to have a more balanced, natural sounding mix. Okay?
Yeah.
Because when you're inside of a room and somebody's playing, remember that this is actually happening live. If the guy playing the thumb is on the left, the source of the sound is the left, but the thumb itself is reflected across the entirety of the room. So you hear both at the same time.
Yep.
But you can clearly hear where the actual sound is coming from,
Yeah.
while you can actually hear as well where the reflections are coming from. When you got both, it feels normal, natural, realistic, enjoyable. So keep that in mind when mixing. Let's play around with this bad boy. I'm gonna press play, and hopefully, I'm gonna keep the plugin open, so we can actually modify it to taste. And I'm gonna get to the chopper. Now it's third times, and I'm gonna be controlling the amount of the sand. Okay, here we go.
On the black valley binds the day, steals the colors, paves the way. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind.
Let me solo both, because the mix is so dense here. Here's. Okay, there is. This is going to allow us to see exactly what we're doing. First, I want to get a much more longer release, so I'm going to push decay, but I'm going to make it diffuse, because again, I wanna create the sound of a big room. Here we go. I'm working with the thumb, the gate. That way, as soon as the thumb is finished, we can get a natural release. It's overpowered by the big improvements made. Yeah, we're gonna work on the rest, man. Because now that we got this punchy, stupid sound, we gotta rebalance the rest. But give me a break. Let me finish the thumbs. So I'm gonna be applying the thumbs, but let's see what each of the microphones are doing. So first, I'm gonna go for microphone number 1, which is the one in the center, and I'm gonna push these guys accordingly. This guy's gonna be to the right. This guy's gonna be to the left. That's it. Here we go. What do you think?
I think it's cool. I want to change context.
Yeah, I'm gonna push this guy a little bit closer to the window. Okay, now let's sing context.
On the black valley binds the day, steals the colors, paves the way. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind through endless nights, but in the dark.
Very good. Now I feel that I can push a little bit more of the synth, so we can get a little bit more of the reverb. And also you saw that I could even lower the volume of the tones a little bit more, because now they feel more complete, if that makes sense. I'm gonna be adding more reverb, okay? Adding more reverb to the sound of the toms. So good. Now let's apply a bit of reverb now to the OMG, and also I increased the volume of the tom of the snare. Feels now sitting correctly, right?
Yeah.
But it might be a case of automating because it might be louder for the rest of the track.
Yeah, because this part is a lot denser.
Yes, it's way denser. So let's add an extra another synth. In this case, should I use the same? No. I'm gonna use something big and stupid. We already got. Let's try whole. Here we go. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked. Again, for those of you who haven't been part of this that often, let me show you what kind of effect is that. If I recall correctly, we're rocking the SSL. Yeah, that guy. Such a great reverb, man. For real. You usually associate the sound of SSL or SSL itself with mixing stuff, right? EQs, compressors, and that kind of stuff. But this reverb is great, man. So good. And what else is missing? Because we're basically at the end of this live stream. So let's listen to this, because today was a huge change in terms of the mix, particularly the second half. So here we go. Oh, and we gotta listen to the toms at the beginning. So I'm gonna change the name of this guy. I'm gonna create a new one. This is gonna be Doom. There it is. So we're gonna be swapping between the good one and Doom, and you can see that changed many things.
Yep.
So here we go. We're gonna begin with the good one from the top, which is the starting point of today's. badass. That was bad. What do you say?
No, this was a gigantic push forward. Very honest, because the more intense, the most intense portion of the track is actually the later portion of it, because
Yeah.
the track grows more intense and more dense as it
Builds more
progresses.
momentum.
Yeah, the thing is that the mix wasn't delivering that.
Yeah.
It felt like the most intense, because it was the part that has been worked on, was the beginning. But now it's finally being properly represented and it's impactful.
Yeah, and you see why I put so much stress last week on the concept of getting laying the foundation first and developing a plan, because we managed to get to this result in this particular section because we already got rid of the stuff that is present across the entirety of the mix. That's why I began my whole strategy today based on the fixing of the kick drum. Without fixing the kick drum, can you imagine how many? No, can you imagine how hard it would have been for us to get this fantastic sounding result when in regards of the sound of the toms and the insanity that is that percussive section at the end?
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to.
Because it would have been getting in the way.
Yeah.
There is an order, and the order is not necessarily something that you can follow by the rule. There are no rules when it comes to mixing, and even though you have, that's the difficult part, because what I'm trying to say is that mixing, even though it's not necessarily speaking a sequence of steps to follow, because every mix is different and every mix presents its own challenges. You have to develop the feeling, you have to develop the sensibility to realize what to do before you do something else 1st. Make sense?
Yeah.
This is a good example of that, because you saw the entirety of the mix or this session was focused on getting the toms, which is the core of the final section, sound the way they do. Why I did it today? Because let me show you something. Over here on the mix, you'll see that we got more synthesizers that haven't been addressed. The Juno, which is the core of this section as well.
It's such a great sound.
It's such a great sound, man. And as you can tell, can you remove the chat for a while?
Bye, Robbie.
Yeah, we only cut and boosted a little bit. I clipped, yeah, because I realized, and I could hear it, we need a compressor. Where did we clip? Here. It's just one moment. There. It's the only point in which the volume goes up, because the attack of the synth.
Yeah.
I have to apply compressor. Also, there was a section in which it shows up in which a particular note that is being played by the synth, given the low end nature of it, is not as audible as the previous notes. Compression will allow for it to be more present in the mix. And now imagine what is going to happen once I add a little bit of extra saturation to it, add a little bit of air to it, make it feel even better. That section is going to hit even harder.
Yeah.
But in order for me to get to that point, I needed to get rid of the problems with the toms, because the toms are actually the life and blood of the sound of this section.
Yeah.
Now, the party, Robbie, yes, I happen to be in complete agreement with you. But let me explain why I didn't do anything about it. First, let me get rid of this. I'm getting used to the new features, guys. The party is here. Is the FAFO, if I recall correctly. No, it's party. Where's party? Here it is. You can tell that there are some motions that the goddamn Mixbus forgot again. The thing is this, there is automation already involved. The automation... Yeah, it forgot the automation. Again, this might be a bug. I'm going to check if there is an update for Mixbus. But the thing is this. The idea behind this guy is for the party to be kind of, you're getting into the party, so you hear more of the reverb. We spent hours working on it a few sessions ago, and I'm pissed because it was a good sound. The idea is for the automation to take place in this fashion. Plenty of synth, little actual sound coming out of the dry signal, and blending them the closer you get to the party. Because once you're closer to when you're outside of a loud room, what you hear is the reflections, and the closer you get, the more of the actual source of the sound you hear. So the idea is for it to give the impression that you're getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer, for it to change dramatically, given the context and also the lyrical content. You see, this is the prosodia, as the Italians would say, very important, which is the relationship between the sound of the music and the content of the lyrics, and how emotional speaking they correlate. It's a very important word to learn as a musician and a music producer. In this case, yeah. So I'm gonna be working on that next week. Plenty of automation is still inbound. Also, it was way too loud because the plan is also for it to dock in volume as the effect is, or rise in volume as the effect, the effect decreases and the dry signal kicks in. For it to land at the very point in which the girl says no fighting, no fighting, because that's actually the segue into the next section of the track.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take a look at this situation with the automation, because it's not the first time it happens, and I think it's just a bug because it's been super solid. We haven't had any form of crash or anything.
No.
It's very, very stable, and the sound is fantastic. So yeah, all in all, good session. Let me save it again. And well, we're getting closer to the end. How far are we? Maybe 3 weeks. Maybe 3 more sessions, because at this stage, the meter bridge. Yes, I got it here, man. It's not that I don't use it. The thing is that I got decibel. And the thing is that guy is in front of me right now. Is not there because it's charging. My iPad is charging. But remember when I show you, that's why I don't have it there in my visual in front of me. But it's a very good tool to use. For those of you who don't know, the meter bridge is this section where you can actually see. Where is it? It's in the master bus, right, Robbie? Can you remind me, just so I don't say something very stupid. Yeah, because I'm so used to using my decibel. Here it is. Found it. It's this section over here. It's here. It's very good. It's calibrated to -14, the same way as I have my rest of my decibel metering system. Very useful. If you don't have a monitoring system such as decibel, this is excellent. And it comes built in. Very important if you want to be competitive when it comes to mixing professionally. And also to make sure that you don't blow up speakers or you don't deliver a super quiet mix. Why? Because we are now mixing in a world in which going super loud is not a good idea, because the streaming services are going to dock down the volume because they're expecting something around -14 after it's been mastered, okay? And a master engineer, if you send it way too loud, he's going to have little room for him to push it. How do you do that then, Robbie? Because I might not be familiar with that meter bridge. You say, no, this guy, which is the one that controls this guy. That's loudness meter, man. Meter bridge. Let me see if I can find it, because it's one of those things that I rarely use. Let me see while Robbie comes back to us. Meter bridge, so right here. Got it, found it. Oh, it's this guy. Oh yeah, good idea. I forgot that guy. This is actually awesome when recording. I use this guy when recording on Mixbus, because it allows you to see. Look, we don't have those channels armed. Those are our voices. Can you see?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yes.
And that allows you to make sure that you're not clipping beforehand. And look at that. The OMG toms and this guy clipped probably in one of the exercises when finding the proper position. Yeah, I didn't know that it was with letter B. Oh, just well, on my system it's not. Oh, Control B. Thank you. It's the same. Good. So yeah, this is also a very good idea to keep your eyes on the hotness of the signal. As you can see, I'm already thinking of how to use it, because I have a ultra wide monitor, so I could find a way for me to have access to this while mixing, because this is a very useful tool. So you can always be keeping track of how hot the action is. So yeah, all in all, I think it was a huge push forward. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. And Robbie, please don't forget to leave the link on the comment section so I can take a look at this at the headphones, because I am actually gonna be in the market for a good pair of cans in the next few weeks, because mine. Can you show them what happened to them, Thiago?
I don't know if the state.
Well, they have seen better days. Of
Yeah.
course, I will change the pads. They're not bad. They actually sound perfect. They are still in great sound condition. The only thing is that they are kind of battered. And to be frank, I already outgrown them. I need better headphones. Those are great, and those are gonna be still being used here in the studio. They are just simply put. I became fancier. I'm such a prick, I know. So wherever. So thank you for your kind words, Robbie. Well, if you would like to support the channel, well, just like the freaking video, leave a comment if you got any question, because both of those help and pushes the algorithm forward quite a lot, because YouTube changed the game yet again and is ruining everything we've been doing for the last 3 months. But if you want to support, just like and leave a like and leave a comment. And also, well, as usual, the best way to support the channel is by joining also our Discord, where you can be part. Well, we can keep the conversation going, and I actually shared a link to a particularly interesting tool, Robbie, that you might like. It's called SoundThread. It's there on the Discord, and it's basically speaking a sampler, but you create sounds by loading a file, creating a crazy ass signal path with plugins that are so freaking powerful that you cannot use in your DAW because they require to be rendered. They are not. You don't even have you don't have an actual on the spot representation of what it's actually doing. You gotta render the file for you to know what happens. And if I remember correctly, this is based on an open source, because the best part is free, and it's actually very good sounding. Right now, it's running a beta, and since it's open source, it's gonna be free forever, and it's working very very correctly on my Mac. There's a little bit of a glitch, but that's something that I will address with the developer, and it's called SoundThread. Truly check it out, Robbie, because I think you're going to like it. It's great for creating samples and atmospheres and soundscapes and shit.
Great sound.
It's very good, right? You
Yeah.
saw it in action a few days ago.
Yeah, it's a mess. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's in the channel that's called Studio Stuff, or Recording Studio Stuff on the Discord. So, with that being said, as usual, the only thing left to be said is that you should never let anybody tell you what to dream about. And remember, mix with care, and also always wear protection when mixing.
Don't
And
need the yellow snow.
yeah, don't drink the Kool-Aid. And we'll see you. See you.